Back in the late 80s, there was this band from Germany called Kingdom Come. They had a hit single off their self-titled debut album called Get It On. When this song first hit radio, listeners of the time started calling in asking to hear that new Led Zeppelin song. The band had a great year with their debut album, but they were constantly being dogged by critics and even music fans for sounding too much like Led Zeppelin. I can remember more than a few of the musicians that I was playing with at the time making snide jokes about them, and some even going so far as to say things like, "I would be ashamed to be in that band." In interviews, even Jimmy Page referred to them as Kingdom Clone when asked about them in interviews. This was all before music fans at large knew just how much Page had blatantly plagiarized from his own musical predecessors. Now, during the 80s, I'll admit I was not a big fan of a lot of the music that I was hearing on the radio. So my position on the band was that I would rather hear a good impersonation of Led Zeppelin than a lot of the other crap that's on the radio right now. The funny thing about Kingdom Come is that only a few of the songs on that first album really sounded like Led Zeppelin. Otherwise, the rest of the album was serviceable, standard 80s commercial heavy rock metal of the time. Not so with Van Fleet, whose From the Fires album sounds like Led Zeppelin from start to finish. Josh Kiszka's lead vocals match Robert Plant's phrasings and inflections pretty much perfectly. Jake Kiszka's guitar riffs, licks, and tones feel like they are coming right off of Jimmy Page's amplifier. Drummer Danny Wagner might be a versatile drummer who can play in numerous styles for all I know, but when you are given Zeppelin-esque riffs to play to, what else are you going to do but try to do your best John Bonham? This leaves bassist Sam Kiszka with little left to do but hold down the bottom, which he does well. By the way, if I have mispronounced any last names in those last few paragraphs, please forgive me. As I listen to From the Fires, I have to objectively tell myself to forget who they sound like and just focus on the songs. And as I listen, ask myself, are the songs good? Would I like them irregardless? And since they do sound so much like Led Zeppelin, I have to ask myself, would I like the songs if they had been recorded by Led Zeppelin? And the answer is yes in all cases. The songs are well constructed, and they are performed extremely well by 4 very skilled musicians. There are a few moments where the band does get a bit too close, though. For instance, the organ fade out at the end of their song Flower Power sounds way too much like the organ fade out from Your Time Is Gonna Come from Led Zeppelin 1. Right now, the band is receiving pretty much nothing but positive praise for sounding like Led Zeppelin, but 6 months from now, they could just as easily find themselves the target of a backlash for the exact same thing. In today's world, where there is so much media noise that perhaps one of the few ways to get the world to notice you is to sound just like another legendary band. And this idea did just occur to me as I listened to this album. But as I listen to From the Fires, I really don't get any sense that any of this was deliberate. But I can already hear some more cynical critics use this to start a backlash. So while I do enjoy listening to From the Fires by Greta Van Fleet, I do have to wonder, what will they do for an encore? Do you just continue to sound like Led Zeppelin, album after album? Well, as long as you are going to craft songs that are enjoyable and not complete rip-offs, there are worse things that a band can do. But I do hope that they will be able to evolve and grow a musical identity of their own. One concern that I do have for them is that if there is a backlash against them for sounding like Led Zeppelin, that they might let it affect their songwriting in a negative way. The one bit of advice that I would give these very talented youngsters is, no matter what happens, ignore everything and always just write the best songs that you can. If that means that those songs sound like Led Zeppelin, then just keep doing that until writing the best songs that you can means that you no longer write songs that sound exactly like Led Zeppelin. And this brings up the second pitfall that I see for a band that sounds a lot like their musical heroes. Not only can you be the victim of a backlash for sounding too much like your musical heroes, you could also be the victim of a backlash when you stop sounding like them as well. And if this happens, just keep ignoring it and just keep writing the best songs you can. And so far, I feel like this is what Greta Van Fleet has done. They are skilled musicians, and I hope they can just continue to musically grow and be able to continue to craft good songs, no matter if they sound like Led Zeppelin for the rest of their days or if this is just a beginning phase and they find new paths of their own to follow. This is TJR. Thanks so much for watching and listening. And what do you think? I'll look forward to checking out your comments. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to click notifications so you can know when I make new videos. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.